What's up, Inside Fighting? We're back for back-to-back weeks of Insider Betting, the show where we give you guys our best picks and predictions for whichever UFC event is on the way. Last week, we got spoiled with a great one to kick off 2026, UFC 324, but we're back with 325 this weekend in Sydney, Australia. Alexander Volkanovski taking on Diego Lopes 2, the rematch. Not the most anticipated fight of the year so far, but this one should live up to all the expectations. Volk going to remain champ. We're going to get into that breakdown. That's my early prediction for that. Excited to break down the main event. But last week, a lot happened. New lightweight interim title holder, Justin Gaethje. What do we think about that? The fights last week, and how do we feel about the fights continuing on? Another pay-per-view event in Sydney, Australia. Are you just as hyped for this one as you were for the one last week? Let me know, bro.
Yeah. I mean, very similarly built cards. Last week's cards was definitely a little bit more hype, even though it was a weird main event, weird title fight. We talked about it last week, but this one's just less exciting. They've already fought. We already know what happened. It wasn't that long ago. So we'll break down that fight after, but no, it's cool. I'm happy Gaethje's champ. He was better that night for sure, and I think it's awesome for the UFC for the White House card. Like they needed that. Like that was like a big saving grace for that card for them. Mm-hmm. They needed an American champion. So yeah, it was a good card overall. That was the only fight I picked wrong though. I had all the favorites, and I knew one of the underdogs was going to get it done, and we had to wait till the last fight on the main card to see that.
Yeah, we were on the same side there. Obviously, we both had Paddy Pimblett going in that one. Justin Gaethje, I don't know if you remember, but before our long UFC break, we did do an insider betting show, kind of early picks for that card. Yeah. I was leaning with Gaethje on that, but just kind of give credit to where credit was due with Paddy Pimblett and his training, being the younger guy. I thought he would be more explosive throughout 5 rounds. Yikes, that was a sketchy one for Paddy. A lot of comment sections are kind of going off on Paddy. The hype train's kind of dying down a bit. Do you still believe in the stock? Would you still buy stock on Paddy? Do you still think he has title contention in his future? Or do you think he's kind of going to be on the brink of that top 5 spot?
I mean, can he do well at the top? Sure. Is he going to be champion? I don't know. Like, there's just so many fighters right now in that division that I think are better than him, like I'd rate Ilya over Paddy. I'd rank Armin over Paddy. Benoit Saint-Denis, he's fighting this weekend, but if he gets a big win, he's got 3 good fights in a row right now. If he makes it 4, that's going to be interesting. That could be a fun matchup. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say if he's going to be champion. Ilya is just kind of like flippy floppy right now, like we don't really know what's happening with him. If he's out of the question, maybe, but I really like Armin too. I think Armin can dominate a division as well. So it's a weird one.
Yeah. Anyways, those two put on a fucking really entertaining main event. A lot of people were saying that fight shouldn't have even happened as a main event.
Yeah.
All those.
You were saying that.
Sort of. I was on the line of, this is one of the easier title paths the UFC has ever seen, Paddy Pimblett getting that shot, but I do understand it because he is the biggest star in the UFC. I thought that this fight was going to be a banger. I did think Paddy would be able to put him away earlier. Happy to see Justin Gaethje show his experience, show that veteran mindset, championship mindset, bring it to the young guy and get the win there, living out this crazy trajectory of the end of his career, winning this vacant title. If he goes on to headline the White House, if he goes on to rematch Max Holloway, just the storybook ending for Justin. So I'm not sad at all, but I didn't see the fight going the way it did. The prelims on that card also way above expectations. I don't know if the prelims are going to be as heat going in this Sydney card. A lot of the early prelims, I'm not even familiar with the people fighting. So I probably will start my watch party going into the prelims when I do have my bets going on. But I'll still be watching those early prelims, just not a lot going on this card. If you took away the main event, in my opinion, it looks a lot like a fight night. Not the craziest back-to-back pay-per-view, but nonetheless, super excited. And it is a pay-per-view, a numbered event, so I'm sure fighters are going to be looking for those big performances, getting a big spotlight in Sydney. So should be fun, should be exciting. I'll break down those early prelims and prelims tomorrow. But we're going to focus here on the main card with my boy Adam, really bringing in the statistics and giving us a more detailed breakdown on these main card picks.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Opening up the main card, we got Keelan Salkeld taking on Jamie Mullarkey. I feel like I butchered that name.
Quinlan Scotland.
I don't know. That K
Scott killed.
Salkeld.
Salkeld. Yeah.
Anyway, Keelan lost his debut pro fight. But he hasn't lost in 10 fights since. Both of these guys have fought Nasrat recently, but Keelan finished it with a head kick in the first, and Jamie Mullarkey got finished in the first by TKO. Either way, what'd you say?
I was just looking at that.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I'm not a big fan of Keelan, but I think he's a massive favorite for a reason. I think he's a bit of an overhyped prospect. And the only reason I think he's becoming somewhat recognizable is because I feel like we've had a ton of Australia cards recently, and I feel like he's been on all of them. So he's had a lot of pay-per-views underway. But yeah, I still think he gets it done. I don't think it'll be too much of a challenge for him against Jamie here.
Yeah, Quinlan, a little bit too many levels above Jamie Mullarkey. Jamie Mullarkey's pretty average, while Quinlan Scotland's above average. I don't think either of these guys are great. But Quinlan, I think he just has more on the line here. These two are two Aussie guys, two who are going to show a lot of heart in this one. Quinlan Scotland, we do see that he has that KO power now, getting that big head kick knockout in the first round against Nasrat. That was very, very impressive. I like Quinlan. He does have a little wager in this fight. If he does get a performance bonus, he is going to shave his mustache. So that could be a lot of his aura gone if he gets a big performance bonus here. So maybe he fights kind of not to get the bonus, but just to a decision win. I do think this one could go to a decision, although I do see a lot of people probably hammering Quinlan to win by knockout. But I think this one's going to go all the way. I think these two are going to show Aussie heart to open up the main card here. Respect to both fighters. I see a big hug in the opening of the third round because these two are throwing bombs. I like the fight. I like the matchup. Quinlan's probably going to get it done, but I'd be taking him to win by a decision here.
Yeah, I wouldn't even toss this one in my parlay. This feels like a parlay buster all over the place, or it's just not worth the odds, you know?
Does not have to be a minus 1,000 favorite. We did see Atabel Gutier a minus 1,000 favorite heavyweight prospect. Everyone thought he was going to get the second round finish, went to a decision there. So I see something similar in this one. Everyone thinks Quinlan's going to get this big finish. I think Jamie's a tough motherfucker. He kind of looks like an orc. If you watch Lord of the Rings, kind of looks like an orc. I'm going to pick Quinlan here. Decision.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Next up, we have one I'm a little bit more excited for. Actually, a lot of bit more excited for. We got our boy, Tai Tuivasa, coming back to fight Tyson Teixeira. Tai has been on a bit of a bad streak. He's lost all 5 of his last 5 fights, which is crazy. That's like a real stat. But because he was on such a heater before, he was like on a 4 or 5 fight win streak before that, I think. And kind of climbing his way up. A lot of people thought he was gonna make some noise, and then he fought some top contenders and couldn't get it done. But then you also have Tyson Teixeira, who's an exciting prospect. And he came into the UFC 6-0. He had a big debut knockout against Justin Tafa 35 seconds into the fight. And then in the second fight, he fights the big beast, Derek Lewis, gets knocked out in 35 seconds. He's a big guy. He is more exciting. He should be able to get it done, I think. What is he, like a minus 200 favorite? Minus 345. That's crazy. But I don't know, man. Tai Tuivasa, he's got the power. He could get it done. It's just been a long time since we've seen primetime Tuivasa. He's been out of it for about a year and a half, fucking around in Dubai. I know he's got like a weed company. He's got like a brewery. I don't know what he's got, but he's been making moves on the side. I don't know where he's at with his UFC career. It's been a long time. I'd love for him to get it done, but I feel like Allison Teixeira is kind of next up here, and he needed to take that loss to Derek Lewis to bounce back. So I got Teixeira.
Yeah, this one feels a little weird to me. I feel like they're throwing in this UFC fight, this heavyweight fight, just to like, you got to put a heavyweight fight on the main card of a pay-per-view event at this point. I feel like this one's just tossed in there to toss in there. It doesn't feel like these guys should be ranked 12th and 15th in the division.
That just shows how bad the heavyweight division is.
One win over Junior Tafa, and you're ranked in the heavyweight division. Incredible. But he is 6'7". He has a Black Widow plastered on his chest. He is very, very scary dude. But Tai Tuivasa, veteran in the sport, has fought harder competition. Maybe he shows some veteran experience in this one. People think a heavyweight belt on the card. Oh, let's take the under. I think this one probably going to go to a decision, probably going to look pretty boring. I don't think these two are just going to go throw hell at the wind at each other for 15 minutes. I think it's actually going to be a pretty strategic fight where Allison Teixeira is trying to win the striking exchanges and Tai Tuivasa is trying to get up and close and do some heavy hitting in the clinch. Really put his weight onto Teixeira, really try and make him feel like he's in there with one of the big boys, which Tai Tuivasa is a big fucking boy. If you've seen it, photos and videos of him during his layoff the past year, dude got massive. He looked like a different human being sitting up at one of these press conferences where he was just chatting to the crowd, answering questions, and dude, he ballooned up like crazy. He looked massive, but good to see that he's back in fighting shape. Hopefully it shows in this fight. He doesn't gas out and get knocked out, similar to like how we saw Derek Lewis, best shape of his life, quits in the second round against Walter Cortez Acosta last weekend. So there's always that when you bet on a guy like Tai Tuivasa or these Junior Tafa guys. There's just like, did they really put in their all into this camp, or were they drinking those beers doing shoeies? I just can't put my money on that. Although I do like Tai here as a plus 275 underdog. I'm too scared to bet it, but if you have the balls, that's the play I go for. Tai Tuivasa by decision, showing that expertise, the veteran experience over the young guy Allison Teixeira. But Allison, he could walk him down in this one and show that he's a real badass. So I'm not betting this one. I do like the underdog pick. If Allison Teixeira wins and proves that he could be somebody in this division, I'm not sure how much he's proved by beating Tai Tuivasa, but exciting for the heavyweight division to have another contender in Allison if he gets it done in an impressive way.
Yeah, no, you summed it up well. I mean, them being 12th and 15th just shows how bad the heavyweight division is. So that says that.
And it's up there on this main card, right? This is the fourth fight, third fight, like.
Yeah. No, this is the fourth fight. But yeah, I'm almost interested to see how Tai weighs in on Friday.
Yeah.
And then that might make me more likely to bet on him, you know? But
I want to bet on that.
I know. He's such a fun underdog pick. Like if he wins, you're having a great night, you know, if you bet on him. But and you're not too upset if you lose. You're like, it would have been fun.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's how I felt with the last minute Derek Lewis knockout bet. I was like, it was fun, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I feel you. But yeah, for the feature fight of the night, we have Rafael Fiziev taking on Mauricio Rufy. Fiziev is back in the win column after beating Ignacio Bahamondes by unanimous decision in his last fight. I feel like we've broken down Fiziev a few times recently, but for those who don't know, Fiziev was out for about a year and a half with an ACL injury after he tore in a fight against Gamrot. But he's a super well-rounded fighter, and since being back from his injury, he's like dependent even more on it. If you look back at like his stats from his last fights, it's like all stand up. But if you look in the past, before his injury, 2 takedowns in like, I think it was 9 fights, something like that. And he was averaging about 70 strikes a fight. Now, since he's been back for 2 fights, even taking Gaethje into account where he lost, he's already got 6 takedowns in 2 fights, and he's still averaging around 70 strikes. So I think it's going to be pretty key in this fight because if he stands with Ruffy, he will get knocked out. But if he's able to get the takedowns mixed in there, we saw Ruffy lose by submission in his last fight. So anything could happen here. But but yeah, Ruffy though, he's a pretty hype fighter, even though he's only had 4 fights in the UFC. And the first 3 were exciting. But in his last fight, yeah, he got submitted by BSD, who I was talking about before, who I think is gonna make some noise in the division here. But something interesting that Ruffy did for this camp is he actually went and trained with Volk. He's part of the Fighting Nerds, but he was like, I'm gonna go train with Volk for this fight. And at first I thought it was a little weird, but then like I gave it some more thought and I was like, man, all the Fighting Nerds talk about Ruffy being the best fighting nerd, right? They talk about him being the best fighter, most skilled, whatever. I think from his mentality, he's like, man, like they're calling me the best. I got to get better. I just got my ass beat. I'm going to go train somewhere else. You know, I actually think it was a great move for him, get out of his comfort zone, see if he can grow as a fighter. And so I think that's also going to be pretty key in this fight. So we'll see how it goes. I think Ruffy is the better fighter. He's minus 122, which I honestly thought he'd be the underdog here. But yeah, I'm going with Ruffy. I think he's going to get the win here. And I think it's going to be my knockout.
Oof. Bold prediction is what I'll say.
I think it's going to be early.
I like that Ruffy's changing up his camp. I like that everything you said about that is true. He's trying to get better because he isn't the better fighter in this one. Rafael Fiziev is the stronger guy. I think you're wrong with him getting chinned in this one. We saw him go through brawls with Justin Gaethje in the past, and he couldn't put his lights out. And those were bloody affairs. I think Ruffy's going to come out of this one looking a little bit different. I think Fiziev's going to put the pace on. I think he lands the takedowns. I think he gets the ground and pound. I think he's going to look like a Merab versus Sean O'Malley performance where he's just constant on the takedown attempts, getting them down, making this one look like an ass beating. But Marcio Ruffy, I do really like the guy. Was hot on him early in his career. He hasn't proven to get big wins against big names yet. This is going to be his hardest opponent to date. I don't think he does this stylistic, crazy knockout counter-striking performance against somebody as durable and powerful as Fiziev. So I'm actually taking the underdog here. It's the only underdog I have on my parlay, but it's the one I feel best about on this main card. I really like Fiziev in the spot. I was on him against his last fight against Ignacio Bahamondes. I think Ignacio Bahamondes versus Ruffy is a good fight. I think that's more of a competitive fight than this one. And I think Ignacio, he kind of is a still image of what Marcio Ruffy is, although Ruffy has that more KO kind of specialist. He's more of a KO specialist than Ignacio Bahamondes. I don't think we see it here. Whatever big highlight moments Ruffy has will be overput by Rafael Fiziev's pressure. I think he looks dominant in this one, so I'm taking the underdog, and I feel good about it. So it's crazy that we're on the opposite sides here, but this is one I really, really do feel good about as an underdog pick.
This before we started the show, I was telling you I was like, I'm debating flip-flopping between a couple of guys. This is one of my fights where I'm flip-flopping. Like it really just does depend on if Mauricio can avoid getting taken down.
But do you think he could win a decision against Fiziev? I don't think so.
Depends how many takedowns Fiziev gets.
Yeah. Even without the takedowns, I think his output will be outmatched the one big moment. You know, I think if he lands 40, 60 strikes around when Ruffy lands 20, maybe they're the bigger strikes, but I think Fiziev will win with that ground and pound.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, Fiziev has been knocked out twice in his career out of 4 losses. So, like, it's not happened. He's a hard guy to put away. But, I don't know. I think the reach advantage, I think he'll be able to keep the distance. Even though Fiziev will be applying the pressure. I think it's going to be hard for him to get in there. And it might just set him up for a knockout. I don't think it'll happen.
Impossible for Ruffy? Absolutely not. Fiziev can get bloodied up early.
Yeah. I think if the odds were flopped, it would make more sense. Like I see how Fiziev should be the favorite here, you know, but I do think it's a close fight. Like I like how the odds aren't too far apart.
Yeah, this is a big something to prove spot for both guys.
For sure, for sure. But anyway, for the co-main event, we got Dan Hooker taking on Benoit Saint Denis. Man, I think I'll get a bit of hate for this, but I don't really get all the hype for Dan Hooker. I know he's a fan favorite. And he puts on big fights. He beats guys he's supposed to beat, and he tends to lose to guys he's supposed to lose to. I'm not saying BSD is a guy he's supposed to lose to. I think it's pretty close. I don't think BSD should be a 3-1 favorite, honestly. But no, actually, I take that back. He honestly should be. I think he's going to win this one pretty dominantly. But yeah, when you look back at Dan Hooker's wins, his last 3 wins, he has what's it called? He's got 3 wins, 2 losses. He's got a split decision win against Gamera, which is a little questionable. Jalen Turner went to split decision as well. And then he's got Claudio Puelles by knockout. I don't even know who that is. So, yeah, but then you got BSD. He's a tough motherfucker. I'm not going to really get into how he's like ex-French special forces because I think we talked about it before and I think everybody mentions it. But he had a couple losses to Poirier and Moicano, but he's kind of been on a tear since. He's got 3 wins in a row. He's looked really good in all of them. He's won all of them by finish. Yeah, I still think he's a top contender in this division. I think that Poirier fight kind of set him back a bit. Moicano was still a bit of a surprise to us, but I think he's making his climb back up now. And I think, Dan Hooker is just going to be a stepping stone into the top 5 for him. So, yeah.
Well, to answer your question or not really a question, your opinion on Dan Hooker, not really being that guy. He is that guy, bro. We got to give him his respect. He's one of those BMF motherfuckers that the UFC has. Down for anything, down for anyone, down for anywhere. That's why you see him here again fighting in Sydney, because it's anytime, anywhere, any place with this guy. He did fight more recently, one of the last cards of 2025. So to see him back, I like the activity here from Dan Hooker, especially after getting brutally put away from Arman Tsarukyan, to come back against somebody who has an advantage over you again in the grappling. It's scary. People are scared to bet on Dan Hooker, although they love the fights that he brings. He's a big underdog here. I kind of like it. I'm kind of tempted. Typically in a matchup like this, I like to do the tattoos. Who tattoos are better? That's similar to how I broke down the Taliesin Teixeira. He has a dope tattoo over Tattoo Voss's tattoos. I would pick Taliesin Teixeira. So here, tattoos, Dan Hooker wins by a mile. He doesn't win this fight by a mile, but I think he could scrape by to a close decision win here. Benoit Saint Denis is going to be in his face. He's going to make it tough. He's going to mix in the grappling. That's no doubt. But he couldn't even get what's his name? Kyle something. Let me look at Benoit. Kyle Preplik. He's from Winnipeg, a Winnipeg guy, Kyle Preplik. And he had trouble getting him out of there until the second round. So somebody as tough as Dan Hooker. I do believe in the hype of BSD, but I'm not as on the hype train as you are in this one. I fell off of it. When did he lose? He lost to Rufy, you know. He lost to the taller, rangier guy before. And Dan Hooker, maybe he could watch tape and show
he beat Rufy
in the sport too. He did beat Rufy. Yeah, that was a
beat him by face crank, bro. And that's what's gonna happen in this fight.
I meant Moicano. The Moicano loss was bad, and I mean Dan Hooker's
a bad loss. I agree with you.
Better than Moicano in my opinion, and he's more violent than Moicano in my opinion.
He is.
So maybe he learned something from that fight and said, "Hey, if I just bring it to this guy, I could be in his face and I could win this one." So maybe he makes it a close decision and lights up the crowd here going into the main event for Volk. So I kind of like the underdog play here again. I'm too scared to bet it again, but I'm not going to put any money on BSD. I'm not as on the hype train as a lot of people are.
Yeah, we got a message in the chat here. Justice for Arman Tsarukyan. Looks like they're on the same page as you, Kof. Yeah, I agree with you. Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker is Yeah, he's one of those BMF guys. He's just not one of those title contention guys. And I think BSD is one of those guys who maybe doesn't become a champ, but is up there fighting for title fights. So yeah, these guys are just on different levels, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Dan Hooker's been subbed 4 times out of
Two
all his
badass
losses.
motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, yeah, they really are. It'll be a fun fight, even if if it's a bloody fight. Like when BSD lost to Moicano, he didn't get knocked out. It was a doctor stoppage. You know,
I
he
see a
was just
lot
cut
of
up
these
too bad.
fights looking bloody,
So
which is fun.
yeah,
Like a lot of these main card fights, I do think could be a lot of blood. So I do like
yeah,
the violence on this card.
yeah. No, I feel that. I think a little bit less violence on this one. No, it'll be this one will be a bit of a
Never
striking
know,
matchup.
Diego.
No, no blood. Yeah, for the main event, we got Volk taking on Diego Lopes in a rematch that makes absolutely no sense. Just like last week, we got a weird main event coming along here. Diego Lopes lost his first fight to Volk. It was his first title fight not that long ago. It was April of last year. It's also been so recent that Volk hasn't fought since. So Volk's last fight is beating Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes did get a fight between then. He fought Gene Silva, won by knockout. Big win for him. But was it enough to get a title shot? Apparently so, but did he deserve it? I don't know. You got guys like Movsar Evloev and Lerone Murphy just waiting for their title shot at this point. And yeah, I think the UFC just really wants to brand want to brand someone as their Mexican champion, even though Diego Lopes is Brazilian. Volk, he dominated the first fight, and I would assume he'll do the same here. Last fight was still fun, but Volk won 4 rounds to 1 there. Something deep in my gut is telling me Diego Lopes learned from that loss. He's going to get it done here. We're going to have a new champion. And I think I'm just going to fuck around and find out and bet on Diego Lopes just because I have a weird feeling that he's going to win. But for the purpose of this show, I do think if you were to bet, I would bet on Volk. I think he'll get it done. I have like this weird gut feeling that Diego Lopes learned a little something, is riding the hype of his last win to Gene Silva, and is just going to come in a little bit different to this fight. So we'll see what happens Saturday night.
Yeah, can I keep it real with you, bro?
Huh?
Can I keep it real?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I had a real big gut feeling on Diego Lopes the first time these two fight. So big of a gut feeling, I put $500 on it. 500. So gut feeling on Diego Lopes is to fade him at all costs in this one.
No, you're gonna flip swap, bro. Now he's gonna win.
No, I don't believe in it, bro. He got his opportunity to fight for the title, and then he lost. He went to the back room, and there's a video of him just bawling his eyes out because you get to the title once. It's pretty incredible if you ever go see another title shot again in your career. For him to fight one fight and to be back in this spot against Volk for another championship is insane. You don't see a fighter fight for the title once, but like that's really rare. But to fight for a title twice is extremely rare. And the way that Diego Lopes did it is incredible. No hate to Diego Lopes, but I do see this fight going pretty similar to the first fight. Maybe you could take everything, show Diego that video of him crying right before he walks out to this one, make sure he's extra motivated, but I just don't see it happening. Whatever extra motivation, extra training, extra preparation that Diego put into this one, I don't think that it's enough. Also keep in mind the person that he has in camp doing the look as Alex Volkanovski is Austin Bashi. We had Austin Bashi on several times. I follow Austin Bashi. He's not Alex Volkanovski, okay? Alex Volkanovski is different. I'm done betting against this guy. He's a little fucking Aussie fuck, always wins. I love him. He's good against these taller, rangier guys. I just think this is a class act here from Volk in Sydney. If he wants to put the gloves down, I think he should. But even with a dominant performance, I think he should retire and just be the GOAT because he can. And that's incredible that he's in the shoes that he is. And I don't think that Diego Lopes is going to be the one that puts a stilt on that. I don't want to see the third fight. Volk has to win this one. Volk's going to win this one. Fuck Diego Lopes. I'm sorry. It's how that's my gut feeling inside of me. And he's not even like a big dog to where you're like, ooh, I can make some big money. It's a pretty close fight here, closer than the first fight was. I don't see the value here on Diego Lopes. If you're feeling that gut feeling of betting on Diego, go for it. But don't do it because you think Volk is not who he is. I'm telling you, he is that guy. And I think you see it here again against another performance against Diego where he wipes him throughout the championship rounds and just makes it look easy. Maybe losing one round early, but I think Volk's got this in the bag.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I agree with you. I don't disagree. I didn't have that gut feeling the first fight. So
Bad gut feeling, bro. It was a bad one.
I had money on both the first fight. So I came up. I think I'm gonna come up again, but we'll see. We'll see.
Wow,
and I
so
would be betting. Huh?
Yeah, tell us the bet if you think you're gonna come up. Tell us the bet. Tell us the bet.
Oh, I'm betting on Diego Lopes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes you gotta trust your gut, you know.
And how's he done?
Huh?
Vicious knockout in the second round?
No, cruising a 3-2 decision win. It'll be close. Yeah.
Look how badly Volkanovski outstruck him in the first fight. Yes, Diego had some big moments, but look at the volume of strikes.
Yeah, but it was just strikes. Yeah, it was volume and just strikes. So if you can keep it on the feet, it's a one-dimensional fight. Doesn't have to worry about everything else. Or maybe, and so then he says, all right, I just got to apply the pressure this time. I got to be able to go 5 rounds, go the entire 5, high pressure, high volume, and then I can get the win. Or maybe his game plan is, I just got to take him down a couple of times because he didn't do that on me either. And that's how he switches up the fight. I think there's ways for him to win. Volk is great. He should win this fight. But
well, what I heard from Diego in his medias this week, he's saying, I watched the first fight. I need to chill out. I was looking for the one big knockout punch. Well, I should be on the outside, picking him apart. Volkanovski in his media is saying he expects Diego Lopes to be all aggression, similar to the first fight. Just bringing it to him, being just too aggressive. So it seems like Diego Lopes is kind of wanting to change his approach in this second fight and make it his fight. But even if Alex Volkanovski isn't ready for that and expects the aggression, I think he adapts pretty quickly. Maybe Diego wins the first, second round, but I think Alex Volkanovski, championship experience, man, he's held that belt for so long. Maybe not this one in particular, but he's had that belt before, bro. It's his time, bro. It's not Diego time yet. It's not Gene Silva time yet. It's not.
If it's not Diego time now, it's never Diego time.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's gonna have to work hard to get back for a third title shot if he loses this one.
Rumor. There is a official rumor going around. Lerone Murphy versus Movsar Evloev headlining the London card coming up in March. So I haven't made a post on that, but it's pretty unofficial official. So that fight's going to be a number 1 contender fight down the road here. But yeah, if Diego doesn't win here, second time, as I mentioned, a lot of people can't even get that first time fighting for a title. So if he doesn't get this second one, he'll say bye-bye to that title shot for a while, bro.
Yeah, I'll have to do at least 2 big wins in a row. If not a third one in there. He'd probably fight.
Piss me off, bro. If Diego wins this, they're going to book Diego versus Yair for his first title defense on some bullshit.
Yeah, for sure.
If Volk wins here, he gets the winner of Movsar versus Lerone Murphy.
Yeah,
White House.
He gets Aljo. No.
Aljo at the White House. Fuck it. For the fun.
Funny.
So much more fun with Volk as champ. He deserves it. He's been that guy. It does concern me a little bit that we talk about, you see these champions, they go off and make movies during their camps and they do other stuff. Volk is very much that guy. He literally filmed a whole Street Fighter movie. He's doing cooking with Volk. He does all these other things outside of training. Well, I know Diego Lopes is for sure dialed in to his training to a T. I just got to trust that Volkanovski championship guy, you know, he has that all sorted out. I don't need to be stressing about that. He's shown a million times. Don't stress about that. And he seems like he's in a very good, chill mindset this week. I'm rooting with the champ. I'm telling you, everything wanted to go crazy again on Diego Lopes, bro. I'm telling you, I have that gut feeling too. I erased it from my mind and my gut because it did me horrible last time, but I wanted to go on eBay and buy a freaking signed Diego card. I almost did it. I almost bet big on Diego here in this spot again, and I'm not going to do it. I learned my lesson. Volk is that guy, and he's going to do it again here in this spot, man. I truly do believe it. But it's fun that we're against each other. I'm not gonna lie, it's fun. But I got Volk.
Yeah, we got to call a few against each other.
Against Volk, man. That's our guy, bro.
I know he's our guy. But hey, all these big champs lose at some point. You gotta jump on it when it's gonna happen, you know. And this could be the one. As he said it, he's doing all the movies. He's doing his own shit. He's prepping. He's 37. He's like, man, I'm on my way out soon.
No.
Not many champs get to retire the champion. You know,
true. Justin Gaethje, you need to just retire right now, bro. Dude,
first two-time interim champ.
This also Volk might have the best walkout ever in Sydney. The fans are going to be absolutely insane. Paddy the Baddy has that best entrance, but if it's over in the UK and London, but Volk in Sydney, his walkout next weekend is going to be insane. One of his last potential walkouts ever. So I just hope he fucking world-class championship performance here. Performance of the night bonus. Just Volkanovski all day. I hope he does it.
I hope so too. It's not in this fight, it's not a bet I mind losing. You know, kind of like Tai Tuivasa, right? So anyway, that's
I'm gonna mind losing. Trust me, I'll mind. My pockets will mind, and I will mind.
Your pocket will mind. I don't place bets as big as yours. But anyway, that's it for this week's card. Next week we got a nice little fight night going on. Actually kind of a shit fight night, I'm not gonna lie. We got Mario Bautista taking on Vinicius Oliveira. That'll be a fun one. Amir Albazi versus Horiguchi. Ryan Spann versus Kuniev. We got Mikhail Oleksiejczuk fighting on that card. Gene Matsumoto. So some good fights. Probably a bit of a snooze fest next week, but we'll break them all down on.
I did not know Horiguchi is fighting Zahabi. That's such a fun fight.
No, Albazi.
Oh, okay. I thought it was that Horiguchi guy that we saw recently.
I think it is him fighting.
Bro, that's a sick fight.
Yeah. No, but you said Zahavi, that's why.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I do love that fight, though.
But anyway, we'll break that down next Thursday, 3 p.m. Central. 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Cody's going to go live tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow, you're going to break down the prelims and early prelims Saturday. Come join the watch party. What did you have, like 20,000 viewers last time? Pretty crazy.
Let's go, man.
Join the party.
So fun on Saturdays. We get the TikTok live going. A lot of people come join up and comment. So I'm always reading the comments and appreciate all the support. Everybody comes in and watches with me. We got like a whole squad who joins in on Saturdays now because we've been doing it for so long. Community is strong over on TikTok. Make sure you guys go join the watch party. See if we're cashing some bets. See if we're losing. Ride with me. Ride against me. Like if you want to go big on Diego, I've been there before. I'm going to tell you against it this time, but it's always a good time. So Saturday I'll be live. Tomorrow I'll be live. Subscribe, guys. You don't want to be missing the content.
Yes, sir. All right, we'll see y'all next week.
Till then, man.